Select your hero.
Justice reigns from above!
Embrace me!
This will heal you. 10 seconds.
Cannot die! Its hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the beginning of another exciting match here at the Bronze to Platinum scrimmages. Ladies and gentlemen, I am one of your hosts for this evening. My name, Isaac the Streaker 1337, joined tonight by Mr. Sailor Nips. We've been having a whole lot of fun here. We are actually just the voices and the faces behind something called the HSA, the High Stakes Anonymous. All of this, everything you see, all of the awesomeness being put on by Mr. Compton EMT himself. Even though he's not joining us tonight on the microphone, big ups to Mr. Compton EMT for doing all of this graphic work and all the mic work and all of the behind the scenes stuff. Also, big ups to Mr. Trix, who is, just being a little bit quiet. He's hanging back there, but Mr. Drix also helping us out, keeping the teams together, doing a lot of backstage work as well. So big ups to Drix, big ups to Mr. Compton EMT as we get into the next match. Sailor, warm us up. What do we got?
Well, we got the losers bracket, but Team Pandas fought and clawed their way, even though it was a 3-0. Both of them were 3-0. You got Team Nightmare led by Shorty and Team Pandas led by Paul Hensley. And this is going to be a great matchup. I think that they're going to split here, and it's going to go into the third. And then in the winners bracket, you see Team Infinity that just looked so strong. And Team Wrath that we just saw that looked pretty darn good, but I think this is going to be probably one of our best matchups tonight. What do you got to say? Isaac the Shrieker 1337.
You know what? It looks like we've got the Wrath against the Pandas here, which is going to be the loser bracket here. Pandas and Wrath showing up now, and I only use the word losers very, very loosely, only because they lost their first round. I do not consider either one of these teams losers. Both of them put on a hell of a show. Wrath starting off against a very, very difficult first match, had to come up against Slips and his Infinity Stones, all of the right pieces in all of the right places. And that's, like I said, that's the one thing you never want to see. It doesn't matter what game you play. When I was playing Magic professionally back in the day, you never wanted to start off against somebody like Travis or Jensen or anybody like that. These are not the people that you wanted to start against, just because you want to start off against the big damage individuals, the big play individuals. It looks like, oh, Mr. Compton's waving me on here. He says we're going to Oasis, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! And look at this. Oasis is so pretty. It's so beautiful, so elegant here. You can just, it screams when I look at this, it screams like the under the ocean. Like if you look above, it's just so beautiful, so elegant. And what we're going to see here from Pandas is obviously the unknown. That's what they've been showing all night. But Sanders on the DPS, Shorty on the DPS, you know, they've been just itching. I know they've just been itching to come back into here. And here we go, is what the good old Joker says in Batman the Dark Knight, which I absolutely love. But I am excited for this one. My pal, my partner in crime, Streaker, are you ready?
I don't know. It looks like we're going to get going here. Wait, we're seeing a pause.
Bans. No bans. There was no bans?
No,
Uh-oh.
I think no, it was definitely it looks like Short Dog was trying to get under the skin of Pyle Hensley over there.
Yeah. Anyways, that's probably our first little hiccup of the night. It's okay. We'll get the bans here, or if we had bans, if someone used the ban, we'll get that going. And I think if we can go back to the rosters real quick, if we're looking at the people in here right now, I feel like if you are Team Pandas, I would definitely ban the Reaper, try to get Shorty off of Reap, maybe McCree. And then for Team Nightmare, well, for Team Pandas to ban both of on Team Nightmares, I would go Reaper and then Rhine. And then for Team Nightmare, I would ban the Moira, get Twizzle off the Moira. Just like what you said, Streaker. Twizzle on the Moira, just the way that he gained his ult so quick, he was just a force there. And maybe Ana. I would go both supports. I would.
Well, you know what? And I almost hate to say this, but disabling supports, at least in the days when I would play banning picks, trying to take down supports, really, it never works in your favor. What you want to focus on is you want to try to get into the heart of the other team. And it's very rare when, and it's not impossible, but it's very rare when the support is really the heart of the team. A lot of times you have these, these hard carries that really can just, they can get in the right position and they can just eat somebody alive. We've seen it happen tonight multiple times where, there's just one person, there's one individual who can just shut down the entire other team. So, I don't know that I would ever necessarily look at a support and put a support on a ban. I'm looking at really more the dangers. Things like, if I know the opposing team has somebody like, let's say, Heavy Revy, I'm going to want to shut down that massive hard carry. If somebody like Slips, I want to shut down that massive hard carry. I'm going to take away your soldier. I'm going to take away that long range. I'm going to make them play something that makes them uncomfortable and bring them into my comfort zone. But then again, my comfort zone predominantly is characters that a lot of people don't like to play. So, I tend to turn off the characters that cause me the most issues. And I don't think I've ever had issues from a support.
Yeah, well, here it is. And what we've seen tonight is that Cheese Bum and Twizzle have been forces. Yellow Kids have been playing great as well, but the Ana and Moira is there. This is going to be juicy, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. Sit applesauce, crisscross applesauce, and get the popcorn ready because this is going to be a good one. Here comes the first fight.
Already damage coming into that shield with Nacho Cheese getting very aggressive, pushing directly on the Yellow Kids and taking him down with the help of PGFT. This is getting a really this is an in-your-face game right here. There's no holes being barred as the hammers start swinging right up in the front.
They're mad, Streak. What do you say? They're mad? They felt like they got dismantled. They felt like they were literally little kids on the block when they got just destroyed by Team Infinity. They're mad.
Well, and they're playing hyper-aggressive here. I don't think the Pandas expected to see this kind of hyper-aggression, and you may see some changes coming out very quickly. You'll notice Prey has already moved away from his initial pick, seeing the kind of aggression and how close this battle is going to be fought. So we're going to see some... This, I think, is going to be a great, really gritty, very close, in-your-face match. Already, Nacho Cheese landing a shatter, bringing a lot of power out there. Prey still not giving up, diving directly into the action. Will fall for it. But like I said, a lot of gritty action already in your face plays. And Nacho pushing them back into spawn here, going back into spawn territory. It's not often you see that, but my man J-Boog even dancing around, getting in that back line. Like,
what a great fire strike there.
Exactly the kind of match I want to see.
Yeah, and you know what? This is your play. This is your identity, Streak. This is up in your aggressive as heck, and look at they're pushing him back. Sanders and Nacho just going absolutely insane, and you can see in Nacho's play he is one of the best tanks that we have in B2P, and he felt like he was just straight up dehumanized, and these guys are showing it. They're showing that they're no jokes, and they're pushing, and it's not like Pandas are jokes, but you know, I feel like the Pandas
coming online now for the Pandas. Pandas should have four to possibly 5 ults available here. Obviously, way behind on the amount of time it takes to charge those ults, but they will have them for this push. However, they need to make this push a good one, as they're already at 85% on the overhead. So ults coming out now. Shatters falling effective. GJM getting taken into a wall. Yellow Kids does manage to swing him down. However, looking at 90% on the clock already. We need to get some more players from Pandas down on here. It looks like a wasted grab, however. Picks Nacho Cheese out of his slam. Prey takes down 3 on the Bastion. They might be able to bring this point out and get some time on the clock.
Great play by Prey right there.
Kind of going off a little bit rogue here. Needs to come back to the group. I would not continue the push he was on. I wouldn't have burned that shield either, but Half Dead Orc was able to find J-Boog, and so we are going to see some retaliation from the Pandas here as the regroup starts just on the opposite side. As you can see, bringing a Bastion of their own. Done getting the bullet storm from Prey as he eats Nacho Cheese. The grab now coming out, the shield up in front of the Bastion. Prey finds Sanders. Sanders does find Half Death Orc, but not in time as the aggression continues and the hammers are swinging loud and clear right into the teeth of Team
What
Wrath.
a momentum changer right there, Streak. And you know what? PGFT needs to be behind, especially as Moira there. You need to be behind. Paul Hensley did have that atrocious grab, but they came back, and it's looking good for your Pandas.
I will tell you, Prey is a very intelligent player. He's playing really well. That was probably his worst maneuver, as he did have an ult there. That's going to take us an ult down coming into here. However, Yellow Kid's trying to find it. Doesn't find it. Nacho Cheese returns the action. And then the dragon comes out. Anna stuck in the middle, gets the shield. Does live through it, but just barely, but not in time to light up the ult. It looks like Pyle Hensley still on the upper there. Gonna have to contest. He knows it. He is gonna have to jump down here to stop that from ticking over. He's gonna jump down. Pyle needs to look down, jump down right now. Can't find it. He jumps off instead of jumping down. No!
And Prey down. Get on, but no, he gets J-Boogie and Nacho say, "This is our house." Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow. Yo, if you guys literally have popcorn, or if you guys have a drink right next to you, like, just stuff your face. Like, my hands are sweaty, Shriek. That was like just like with what you love about the Pandas so much is that their adversity, their way of, hey, you know what? This isn't working. We're going to change something. And they did. They made it a little bit more interesting. And right here, I feel like Shriek, if Paul Hensley had a better grab, they might have won. I feel like that was just, it was, what?
Yeah, that grab could have gone a different way. He didn't need to burn that there. It did take Nacho out of his charge, which may have prevented a kill, but I don't know that was worth an ult to do it. However, Nacho now switching up for the Sigma as Kyle Hensley is tending to keep the same. Looks like Cheese Bum still on the Ana.
He does a good job throwing the balls around, you know? Oh, taking a little
now
sleep.
trying to get cheeky. PGFT finding a sneaky orb onto the back line, taking down Cheese Bum, but honestly, Wrath being afraid to move with Prey just sitting there kicking out the damage. He is going to move onto the point here, putting himself up in a corner, looking for that shorty kill. Couldn't find it. Gets down as most of the bullets, even by Nacho Cheese. This point will get opened up by Team Wrath as we move on to the second engagement.
Great teamwork there by Team Wrath, and it looks like Nacho's kind of stuck there. Ooh, gets out of it. Yellow Kids are regrouping.
Pandas really needed to move back there. That's going to cripple their shield just a little bit. He does have a nice little corner edge over here with that Diva kind of stuck way out in the middle of nowhere, but Pyle cycling his shield very well, being able to get some charge as we go into 20% in favor of Team Wrath. Now, half Def Orc taking down Sanders. That's going to open up a hole. Diva alone with 5 members. They need to capitalize on that kill right now. The bomb coming out. The shield must go up. It does. Just in time, no kills from the bomb. Cheese Bomb, however, pushing forward, looking to land. A canister does, but can't capitalize on it.
Pandas have a lot of ults here. They're gonna, if they use them wisely, they'll easily take this point. Just use at least 1 or 2. You don't need all of them. 1 or 2. They only have 2. Just use some of them. You gotta go now. You gotta go now. That's purple.
Absolutely, there it is. The gravitic flux holding yellow in place, still hits the ground, chasing them off the point. The tire, half that fork with the triple kill. That's going to put him on the board, ladies and gentlemen. Pyle Hensley still holding up against the 2v2. Now 2v3 on the point. Pyle not enough, and that is still going to be, even with that massive triple kill, held down by PGFT and Nacho Cheese. Great work between those two in the face of almost unstoppable odds to hold that point. Incredible work there.
Absolutely great perseverance there by Team Wrath. You right there, like your energy of half Def or getting the triple kill was there for a reason, because that was absolutely amazing. But hey, regroup here. It's okay. You still got 2 more fights. Here we go.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Yellow having to back up off of some of that aggression. His aggression being very valuable there, creating plenty of space between him and Wrath for them to get onto the point. And like I've said in the past, the Pandas, if you give them enough space, will capitalize on it. However, Nacho Purple not able to get healed, now having to deal with the Pharah in the air. Prey coming back. 90% of the Justice about to rain down. That's going to come online just in time as Pandas sneak point in at 99%. Prey now playing very dirty and obviously creating all of the space that his team will need to hold that point.
Great teamwork there by Pandas. They're trying to get something going here. I think they will. The ults are pretty tied up. 3-3. You know, let's see if they can keep the momentum.
Grav coming out now, starting to crack shields. PGFT responding by bringing it online. Pyle Hensley drops, but not before Shorty does. Prey now getting taken down by the visor from Sanders as they move onto the point. Wrath starting to show some of that aggression. The Reinhardt coming online now, had a clear charge, couldn't find it on PGFT, was looking for it, swings away, not able to find anything there, now left alone with 4 on point as Yellow does everything he can to stall this for his team to get back. They're going to swap it out now. There's nobody close by. Unfortunately, that was just not what we needed to do there. It looks like, oh, the overtime comes down. Will Cheese Bum get there in time? He
But
will
not for long. Just like with Bronze to Plat itself, you know, you live, you learn, and that's what this league is about. You live, you learn. This was a great fatty shatty here by Yellow Kids. Oh, I think, no, this is when the after the fatty shatty, when he just goes absolutely berserk. Great charge there, and I I think he gets maybe 3 in total here. But with the ult usage is absolutely huge. And if you use it wrong, like they had all the momentum. When I say they, Pandas had all the momentum when they still had the point. But Pile Hansley being up, like using your grab there, you have no help. There's no reason to use that grab there. And I feel like after that, it totally changed the momentum, and Team Wrath could easily just take the point. And Team Nightmare, it's Team Nightmare. So we screwed the pooch on that twice,
But you know what? Pandas had the opportunity, and you're right. They did bring out that grav a little bit too early, which kind of forced everybody to move towards the grav in the hopes of trying to find a kill, which is the correct answer. When your Zarya lays out a grav, you want to get there and you want to be able to follow it up. Unfortunately, what ended up going down was the fact that everybody was then grouped up and they had Moira sitting back, ready to just open up coalescence, started kicking in a ton of damage because they were already grouped up. It just made that coalescence so much more effective. And then having to then fall back away from the point without the grav online, and that just creating difficulty for the Pandas where they really didn't need it. A couple of grabs in both matches there, or in both games, that really didn't need to be burned out. Could have waited a little longer, waited for the defensive grab rather than the offensive grab, and made a lot more with it, especially having Prey up in the air at that point. He was 90% of a Reign of Justice when that went down. There was no reason to give that up there. He could have waited, easily caught them, comboed into the Reign of Justice from Prey. There was a lot of things that really could have gone well for the Pandas there, and they just gave up a couple of grabs, a couple of ults that really did change the game. So you're right about that.
yeah. And that's something to learn from, right? Especially if they're watching, hopefully they're watching right now between this break, is that's a great combination. And they were so close from that. Like the grab and the Pharah ult is just great. It's bittersweet. And that would have put them and solidified them for a longer time on the point, maybe to a win. But we're not trying to single out Paul Hensley because he has done great things and Pandas have done great things. But Team Nightmare, they're working as a good team right now. And it's good to see in the first round. In the first round, they were so aggressive. So you could see that they were just biting on their nails. They wanted it so bad. They wanted to come in here. They're like, no, we are not bad. The way that Team Infinity dismantled us, we're going to come back and we're going to show it. But Pandas is like, whoa. Okay, we still got something in our tank. And guys, it's still going to be something else. And I am loving the play from Nacho, and Half Def Org did a lot of good stuff that round too. It was great.
Absolutely. And teams working very well together right now. You see the Pandas working really well. You see Nightmare working really well. You see these teams really starting to jive. What you saw from Nightmare right there is them really bonding together. After that first initial loss, I think they probably went back to the drawing room and were like, okay, guys, let's watch the tape one more time. Let's run the pod back. Let's take a look at what we can do better, what we can't do better. Let's make those appropriate changes because they were really jiving here. All of the information was there. They were definitely playing like a much better team that we saw in the first round. They were putting in the correct coalescence. They were waiting for the right times. There were shields in all the right places. Nightmare really stepped their game up here in the second game. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Unfortunately, Nightmare had a chance to kind of sit back and rest a little bit. Pandas went immediately from their first game into their second game. So they didn't get that downtime. They didn't get a chance to really sit down and look at each other and be like, okay, what did we do right? What did we do wrong? They really just had to dive into that next round. Now, you saw that aggression that they needed to bring, but with Nacho just immediately picking up the hammer, catching the shield, and just going into swing, phenomenal work. I mean, it just very aggressive, highly aggressive plays. I can't wait to see what Route 66 is going to bring us
here. Yeah. And for Route 66, I do feel that Pandas will, this is kind of their map here. And I'm really, with Sanders, I want to see a little bit more aggression and a little bit more DPS from Sanders. You know, it's kind of quiet. It was kind of quiet from Sandman. I want to hear you say, "Enter Sandman." Here he comes with the present. I want to see that. And, you know, he has the ability, but it just hasn't been there. And with what I saw a lot there, Shriek, correct me if I'm wrong, Yellow Kids was playing a good run against Team Wrath, had his shield up a lot. His shield was there for a lot of the time, but it feels like Team Nightmare just totally depleted his shield. Every fight they went in, it just seems like Team Yellow Kids' shield was down, like right away. They're just gone.
See, and it's a little confusing, but Yellow Kids is actually cycling his shield really well. He is dropping his shield. He's not allowing it to be cracked so he can quickly move back into a scenario and start attacking. So as divisive as that looks, he's actually doing a really, really good job of having it where he needs it, but dropping it and not calling the drop before it happens. He may be calling the drop, but he needs to give his team about a second to move away right before he drops it. And that's why some of that damage is coming through that shouldn't be coming through. So if he gives his team about a 1 to 2 second, just seeing the amount of aggression that they're bringing and giving them the heads up, hey, 1 to 2 seconds before my shield gets down, back up, or shield dropping in 1, whatever it is, so they know to start backing off before they start taking the heat. So other than that, I think he's doing a great job.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Mechanified, thank you for those biddies to our boy Compton EMT. And it looks like we're going to go on a good old round 66. You know, where's the Lightning Queen? Are they going to bring out the aggressiveness that they did in game 1 with Nacho? Nacho is going to be bringing out the SIG, which he's a very universal player. So if they bring out the aggressiveness, that's awesome, but you got to think that Team Pandas is going to be hungry here, Shriek.
Oh, absolutely. And here's something that I think is interesting. They are running a shield tank with Bastion along with a Widow and a Hog. That is a lot of aggression right there. That they are expecting to see some long sightlines here, and I'm kind of curious to see how Prey is going to play this. However, he is on the ground at the moment. I would expect to see him up a little bit higher. Pyle Hensley already down. Sanders down as well. Looks like both Bastions have been disabled here. So it's a 5v5 brawl right on the point.
Yellow Kid's going down, though. Not looking good here for Pandas. They're getting pushed back. Prey just sitting there taking all the damage. They're going to have to regroup here and push back, but Shriek, what I was alluding to right there, I don't know if you saw, I know you saw that Yellow Kid's shield went down literally in like a second to 2, and he had to hide it.
Well,
right there, you know that you gotta hide behind the payload and just
that's because
try
of
to
the
push
Bastion.
it.
And I don't know that you just saw that hook, but that hook is really going to decapitate them here.
Yeah.
It's going to cripple their ability, and we're going to start to see some forward motion because of that. However, Twizzle going down is going to make it very difficult. So that was an amazing beginning to that push for the Pandas. They just needed to be able to sustain that aggression, and they weren't able to sustain it. So they're now unfortunately having to fall back one more time. But yes, the shield of the man did go down there, but that's because they have a Sanders on that Bastion, just bringing in huge amounts of damage.
Yeah. We're seeing a different character here from Twizzle. Twizzle went from Ana to Lucio, and these are characters that he's not used to from Moira, but it looks like Pandas have 3 ults. They have the high ground right here. They have the advantage with all those ults because they only have, well, now it's 3-3 ults here. Let's see who's going to strike first. GGM's taking a lot of damage there.
The visor comes out, so they are going to have vision coming into this next one. They're going to be able to see right through those walls and time their ults hopefully a little bit better. Moira now bringing out the ult. The Shatter comes down, catches Sanders. A lot of ults coming out on the side of Pandas. They really are going to have to capitalize on this.
Sanders taking down Yellow Kids, but Half Deaf Orc is full hog trying to get something out of this. This is a really good fight here. The Pandas need this. They need to win this fight to keep on pushing this bad boy payload. But they're doing a pretty good job of cycling here by Team Nightmare.
Definitely, definitely. And we are going to see the reinforce here by the Reinhardt. Needs to look up, find that. Did block the bomb. That was very good map awareness there, obviously, by Yellow Kids. Great work on that. Unfortunately, you have a lot of ults now starting to come online. 14 Wrath, which is going to make it very difficult. Shorty just mopping that up. Then, however, Sanders going into the tank ult a little bit prematurely. So that's going to take one of those major ults away as Lucian comes online for his ult. Now, I disagree, at least up to this point, with what the Pandas are doing. I would find another way here. I feel like this is a time where they could have made a swap and didn't. I'm a little bit worried about it. It looks like Pyle was waiting for Nacho to try to set up there, and did not actually, or waiting for Sanders to set up rather, and didn't actually happen. Another bomb from GJM comes out, finds Yellow Kid and Lucian, and I think that is going to be the last push on Route 66 for the Pandas.
So with Cheese Bum going out, the #1 pick in your first epic draft, it definitely, I feel like, took a toll on the Pandas. They didn't really have that synergy going. Even though Yellow Kids is going to pad the stats here, not going to be able to get on the point. But and this is great things to kind of watch in the moment. You know, we saw some misused ults to, and this is not us calling out the players. This is us trying to get the players better, right? And that's what we do in our breakdowns of the game, breakdowns of B2P right after. But like that Sanders ult, like it's really shocking that the Pandas couldn't capitalize on the next fight there. But just great job there by Team Nightmare working as a team. And even when they were cycling streak, even when they were cycling, they still somehow kept that payloads on stop.
You know, and there was a lot of really good showings there. I thought it was interesting that both teams initially came out with the Bastion looking for that shield melt, knowing that the other team was going to bring a shield to the fight. Either that or knowing that the shield they brought to the fight wouldn't be a Reinhardt, as once you saw Yellow Kids get his shield melted, immediately start to move in a different direction, try to find a better way to get there. So,
yeah.
And
so
what really interesting plays as a whole.
Do you like what they're doing right now? They're not really changing anything from your Pandas perspective, but is this kind of like what you would want to see, or what do you want to see from them?
I think this is, well, this is either going to be very good or very, very bad. J-Boog has the ability to get up next to him and boop them off that high ground. And if he does get the boop off of that high ground, it's going to make it very difficult. But as of this second in time, Yellow Kid's keeping his shield up, dumping a ton of bullets down there. Prey already finding Nacho Cheese. So Pyle just, I was just about to say Pyle needs to jump down and protect himself before he gets killed. But now 5v5 with Yellow Kid swinging away up on the top. Looks like they're grouping a little bit. I would start to break a little bit here.
Okay. Feel like Sanders needs to get a little cranny right there and just lay into him right when this payload goes over.
Well, absolutely, and you're kind of starting to see, you know, the aggression here. They're grouping up on the point, but slowly getting ticked down. The heals just aren't coming in the way that they need to keep them up. Although,
Hensley taking a few as well. Wow, great defense there. It didn't look good there for Team Pandas at all, Streak. Your team to win it all. But I'm sorry, brother. You better get a beer here to chug because it is not looking good for your Pandas.
You know, and I'm okay with that. But Kyle Hensley's starting to notice that he needs to be a little bit more mobile, starting to move around, not giving up his position, trying to surprise them whenever he can, trying to be in the right position for that engagement. So hopefully he's going to get set up here. He should know that engagement was coming from the right side. Yellow Kid still not getting the message. It sounds like nobody's communicating here. Yellow Kid was still facing towards the spawn as they had already exited, they had already had a player die and they had exited that lower tunnel. So a lot of communication issues there on the side of the Pandas, as there was just no communication that the tunnel was the point of attack.
Yeah, and great strategy there from Team Nightmare. But Sanders also, you know, wasting another ult. I don't think it will matter, though. Maybe it will, because they're going to touch here, and then here we go. Here it the bongo.
Oh, no, won't be able to get there. Sanders is just too ruthless. Oh, my heart. My heart.
Get the beers ready, y'all, guys. If you guys are a part of the Nibble Clan, spam those cheers emotes, spam emotes, and say drink, drink, drink. But we're gonna watch this play of the game by Nacho Cheese. I'll go ahead and save Streaker's voice to give him up and drop him down. The quadruple kill there by Nacho. Nacho carry. Dun, 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 dun. Also by Shorty. Great plays there. Great teamwork there. I feel like the huge difference there was that you take Cheese Bum out of the game. Their vocal leader, you take their vocal leader out of the game because Cheese Bum has been calling the shots. I know this for a fact because I practiced with these guys earlier today. Cheese Bum calling the shots the whole entire time. And just like with that last fight that you saw, what were they looking at, Streak? Like, it should have been right when Powell was getting hit. Yo, behind, they're coming through tunnel, but it wasn't there.
Yeah, it just seemed like there was a lot of disconnect there on the Pandas. Like maybe there was some frustration that was blocking mic channels, or maybe people were busy arguing about something, or maybe the mic channel was dead. Maybe maybe it was just one of those things where you were so frustrated about getting picked on that tunnel that you forgot to tell your team, hey, tunnel, they're over here, you gotta look, like I just got picked. And that's game awareness. That's watching that kill feed. And when you see that pop up, it's like, oh, where was that guy? Like, if you have to ask yourself where that person died, you're already hurting because somebody has already have the chance to get behind you. So it's really, really tough. I mean, that's a hard play. It looks like we are going to be moving into halftime here. We're going to give the teams a chance to sit down, talk about some of those disconnects, get online, put each other together, and be prepared for the next round. Mr. Nips, before we cut, you got any words for the fans?
Stay happy, stay intoxicated. I don't know Shrieker's line, but get ready for some more action because we have the winner's circle and we have these great videos that Compton EMT also has created. So stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen,
stay seated, stay excited, stay intoxicated. Myself, Sailor Nips, and of course, the great Mr. Compton EMT will be right back with game number 3 of match number 3 of the Bronze to Platinum Epic here on the HSA channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to match number 3. We are just following the halftime of match number 3, 2 games in favor of Team Nightmare as the Pandas attempt to climb back after a tough loss to the Wrath. Nightmare, of course, having faced off against Infinity in the first round, seeing some redemption now against the Pandas as they move into this third game. That shot hanging just right there, the apple on or the carrot on the stick, just within reach at this point. So, Mr. Nips, what do we got, sir?
What's up, my man? I hope you stretched. I hope everybody stretched because it is not over yet. By looking at the bracket, you do have Infinity and Wrath in the winner's circle. They're waiting to go ahead and play the next games, but don't sleep on the Pandas. Even though they're down 2-0, they do get their number 1 pick back in Cheese Bum, which is their vocal leader, and they just looked out of sync without their Cheese Bum in there. So with Cheese Bum coming back in, but they do get Dream. Dream does get out, and that is Half Deaf Orc, which has been playing great. So what do you guys say for your Panda streak? What do they got to do to pull off this miraculous upset?
You know, it's going to take a lot here. Yellow Kids has really been putting up a lot. Lucian has been putting up a lot. Twiz has been putting up a lot. There's a lot of things they've been doing right, but a lot of things that they've really been struggling with, which is really their ult usage on the point. Their ult usage needs to get a little bit more cohesive, and the callouts need to be a little bit stronger. A lot of what you seem to be seeing is the Pandas just getting taken by surprise when they need not be. there's no reason for Nightmare to be, as a team, as an entire unit, be pushing through and still having the tanks on Pandas facing towards a direction with nobody in front of them. So getting very difficult for the Pandas. They're going to have to clean up their callouts a little bit, maybe calm down on the vocals, keep those mic channels open, and then start calling out that damage focus. Let it get done. Great work by Shorty here, leading the team, keeping their heads together, doing a great job of what they're doing. So great work by Nightmare here, coming back after a very tough loss to probably, by the numbers, one of the strongest teams in this battle. So great work by Short Dog, keeping his team together, keeping his head cool, and keeping it clean, bringing that fight straight to the point every single time. So great work. Looks like we're going to be moving into King's Row. Mr. Nips, what do we got?
King's Row for the second time tonight. I feel like Team Nightmare, hopefully they're not too scarred and have PTSD on this map, because this is one of the maps where they did get dismantled on. But I feel like we keep on focusing on what the Pandas could be doing better, but what Team Nightmare has been doing so good. We asked for Sanders. Yeah, Pile asked for pause. We asked for Sanders, and I can't believe you haven't been saying the song for Sandman to come, because he had some great plays there on Route 66. He was doing great bashing plays. He was lighting it up. JGM and Nacho just showing why they're one of, like, the top tier tanks that we have in the Bronze to Plat. But I do feel like with Cheesebum coming back in, that is their main piece of their team, and you love Cheesebum as their support player and as a focal leader. So hopefully that's the changer for Team Pandas.
Well, it's hard to say, and it looks like the pause, at least at this point, is kind of based on some internal team issues, like maybe a swap was supposed to be made that wasn't made. I'm still kind of waiting on that one, but a lot of this hinges on the Pandas' ability to really utilize their that flex nature. You saw it so much in their first match where they were able to flex, figure out what was wrong, retool the team on a whim, get back onto the point, make the correct change, and then push back and really show that aggression. And only getting eked out by 1% multiple games at a time, never really getting beaten down, always being right there, being latent, being relevant, on the point, making the correct changes, being there. However, against Wrath has just been able to really dig even deeper and kind of get around those changes, almost knowing what the change will be, calling the change effectively, and using different tactics. You've seen them go through the choke. You've also seen them move around through the tunnel. And both of those calls were correct, as you saw that Pandas weren't able to retool where they normally have been able to retool that, to figure out what was going down and to make those correct calls. So we really are going to need Pandas to do what they were doing in that first match, or that first set of matches that they played, or the first set of games in that first match, to retool, put their heads together, make the calls, be a team, get that cohesion back, and just lay it down against these guys. And not to say that Short Dog isn't doing exactly what he said he would do. He's leading this team well. J-Boog has been there every time. Sandman giving the gifts like I told you he was going to be handing them out. I mean, just
finally,
a lot of strength here.
Finally, we were asking, hey, Sanders, where are you? And he was like, I'm right here, honey. I'm right here, Sailor Nibs. Don't worry about it. But here is King's Row, and here comes Team Nightmare and Team Pandas, where Pandas will be on the attack first, in Team Nightmare looking like Nacho's going to go back to his, sturdy steed, what he is best known for. But Sanders going Symmetra here. Little different plays here from Sanders, but great defensive play. Yellow Kid staying on the Rhine. Lucian King jumping on the monkey, something different. Like you said, the flex players that the Pandas can come through. And here we go, Streaker. Can your Pandas pull off this miraculous upset?
I don't know. They're going to have a tough time here. This is definitely not one of the maps I want to have to play a comeback match in. This is very difficult, especially moving through that choke. As you can see, Lucian already jumping out there, taking, unfortunately, a lot of damage. Is going to have to make an intelligent jump away. is going to get just enough distance, but not enough to keep him alive. However, Panda's already on the point and causing a lot of space here. Oh wow, GGM and Sanders both falling there. We still have 3 Pandas on the point, and they're moving them back. There is a general retreat here. However, PGFT going in, trying to hold the point. Short Dog jumping in a little bit late. Obviously, Lucian now back with the tickle cannon. That's going to be a fast take, a 1 engagement take by the Pandas. It looks like they had a chance to speak to each other, get their heads together. That was a really well-coordinated match. A little bit sloppy, kind of gritty, but happened on the point, and they were able to take it.
That's what you needed from your team right there. Maybe they heard us in the break, and they're like, Streaker, we're going to do this for you so you don't have to chug a beer, because Prey came out and was showing that great Junkrat play. And look at that, Yellow Kid takes out Sanders right away.
Yeah, the Sandman definitely eating the raw end of that flame strike right there from Yellow Kid, who's being very effective. The tire coming out now does find Nacho. They're going into this down a couple of players. This is a 4v6 push as we round the corner here. Now, one of the things that I don't like that Pandas is doing is they're keeping all of their players on the point. Maybe they're using it as a mobile shield, which is one thing, but I normally would never suggest that. I usually move the point as X1 to try and force the team behind the actual point. So you see in PGFT now starting to bring out that coalescence. We're going to see what that's able to do. Shorty already down.
Prey just picking people left and right. Here comes the Fatty Shotty. Can they do anything from it?
Oh, welcome to Shatterdome.
Yellow Kids gets nothing, but he gets pinned by Nacho Cheese. Yellow Kids is on an island by himself, and it's not looking good for Pandas here. They got to regroup. They got to try to get out of here because Sanders and Nacho just taking a part of it. But really good first initial push there from Pandas, Shriek. You must be proud of your team here.
You know what? And that was exactly what they needed to do. Get some initial first motion, really be in the moment there. This is going to be a 3 ult versus 4 ult engagement. You'll see the Pandas are going to have 4 ults going into this. Now, J-Boog is going to come online during the fight, but if he doesn't come online fast enough, it may be too late to drop the beat. So this may be a little bit better fight in favor of the Pandas, especially with the clock still ticking on J-Boog.
Great little orb there by their Moira. Here comes the Junkrat tire. Can he score again? No! Shoots it down. Sanders,
grab coming out.
Coming in, Yellow Kids does, Nacho does the right thing, but he is way out of the play. Here comes the Covalescence, trying to get something from it. Prey still getting, here comes a fatty shot. Can we get some fatty chatties in the chat? Nacho carry. Great defense there from Team Nightmare, and I think the Pandas are going to have nightmares of that one, but there's still plenty of time, Streak.
Sure, they have 3 minutes on the clock. They still have 2 relevant ults. Obviously, 1 tank and 1 support ult here versus the shield from Sanders and the coalescence from PGFT. So Yellow Kids is going to have to time this very effectively. Make sure that he has Cheese Bump backing him up when he lands it so that they can get in and start getting work done as immediately as possible.
Yeah. And we got some This Tracer chats in the chat. Pal Hensley is doing pretty good. He is dying kind of quick, but Prey is just, look at this, dude. Taking out their back line. There goes PGFT. He probably already has like 20 plus kills. He's doing crazy good right now. Yellow Kid's taking out Sanders. Your Pandas are angry Pandas right now. We need some angry.
And they are continuing to move the point. That charge may disable them. That's what I thought.
No.
Nacho did not want to take a shield down there. PGFT lighting up an ult that will not help to save them. That is going to disable them, and you may see a large stagger here against PGFT and GJM as they are well aware from their team. If I was yellow card, I would be screaming to chase that. Absolutely. That is a massive stagger.
Wait, get on the payload! Keep pushing him, man! Like, yes, you just absolutely crushed him, but keep pushing the payload.
Yeah, that's why you always have to be very aware of the X1 that's going to be pushing the payload there. Obviously got a little taken aback, but they're coming up to the next hold point. It's going to be right here on this corner. Tire is coming out now. We're going to see how effective that tire could be. Looks like we did not find, Shorty did not find it. Prey took down the opposing tire, sending his own tire now into the back line, finding the triple kill. Ladies and gentlemen, Pandas are going to keep this in motion, at least for the moment.
But
unfortunately,
with the triple kill himself, and he gets Sanders is teabagging! Oh my gosh, he is a savage, ruthless son of a gun. We thought even Shrieker himself thought that he was that praise triple was gonna go ahead and solidify more payload movement, but dude, I think us calling out Sanders woke up the beast, Shriek.
Maybe. That was pretty incredible. That should have absolutely been a push. However, if you take a look at the ult banks now, it is the Pandas who are going to have a ton of ults coming into this. One possible ult coming online, that Void from GJM, is going to have to be almost pristine in order to drive this back. Lots of purple on the other team right now. There's the Coalescence to warm this up. Anna ult comes out. Let's Yellow Kid charge. Void coming down. However, the deaths are coming out. There was the canister. This is going to round this corner, ladies and gentlemen. We have 3 on the point as we now bash it down. They may have one more chance to re-engage if they can get up and get onto the point fast enough. I do not see any motion onto fast characters. Zarya trying to come out, not going to be fast enough. It's coming down. Nacho Cheese gets slept. Does stop the point, but dies in the process. GJM throwing the Void, holds it. Yellow Kid swinging away. This is going to be a gritty ass fight right here on the point. The Flame Stripe comes down. No one, Sanders now holding the point, ulted by the Anna, sets up the keys. Unbelievable, trying to knock him into the pit, fails. Nacho Cheese now playing the roundabout game just to hold him back. A minute on the clock as the Pandas less than a meter away from victory right there.
Oh my
goodness. Thanks to some of the amazing charge there by Nacho and GJM. Incredible. There's going to be one more fight on point. Now, if you take a look once again at the ult banks, that took every ult one at a time by Team Wrath. They are going to be ultless in this next fight unless they are able to charge quickly, who Shorty is starting to get there. However, we have multiple players and one already online for the Pandas as they come around this.
Here
Dark finds Mark. Tyre comes out.
Nothing.
Tyre doesn't find anything. Sanders not paying attention, falls to his death. That's a 5v6.
But
Sleep Dart is out. GPM being left alone. Great work by the Panda in talking about how to manage this at best. Both Moira ult. Dueling Moira's now. Short Dog. Oh no! Short Dog finding multiple kills onto the Pandas as that will close up the last 10 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, they were right there for the 3-point capture. Incredible retake with no ults, except for Short Dog. Short Dog and Moira, lighting up both of their ults late in the game. Fantastic work. Fantastic work by Nightmare there. Wow. That I was certain my Pandas were getting the 3-pointer right there. I was certain.
And you know what Nightmare said? They said we're Team Nightmare for a reason, baby, because right there is a Nightmare to push that payload, especially when you're going against Ball, Streak. Like when you're going against Ball right there, you saw Nacho come in, and literally all he had to do was latch onto that payload and knocking everybody away that created one-on-one scenarios, and that's how Shorty got to do his high noon and just demoralize Team Pandas. But that was a great push. That were really good plays from Team Prey. From Prey, and you said the canister from Cheese Bum. That's where the Team Pandas missed so much for last match, because Cheese Bum with that grab and that canister, that was just magnificent. But wow, I am speechless on that defense from Team Nightmare. That showed some resiliency right there, man. That was crazy.
Absolutely. The resilience and just that charge that got them just close enough to stop the motion of the payload, allowed the reinforcements. Great work, great communication by Nightmare there to put them onto the point. Pandas, they have some space here, but it's going to be a little more difficult than they thought. Kyle Hensley now not getting to read from the jump there that was taken. Lucian did find Sanders, but Shorty finding Yellow Kids. This is going to be a little grindy on the point here.
It's a grind fest right here. It's a 3-on-4. Someone's asleep though. JGM's asleep on the job. They are purple. Cheese Bum is purple, and he goes down. Shorty trying to take care of Prey. Shorty coming in. One of your favorite players that's not on your team. Short Dog taking care of business. every day and pushing them back a little bit more.
Absolutely. And this Nightmare is playing the way that I tend to like to play, which is send a few characters forward to make the defensive team push back a little bit, create some space for your team, get that payload rolling, get it around the corner, and start to set up for your next attack. So great work there by Nightmare, having just a couple of people close to the point and then having a couple of people up in front, making the plays that they need to really hold Pandas at bay. But taking a look at the ults here, PGFT already online, Twizzle already online, lots of healing getting done here. Prey is going to be online as well. Unfortunately, Yellow Kid's already down. The tire's gonna come out. Will it be enough? He will find Sanders, but not enough otherwise as the payload continues to roll.
She's does take Nacho as well. This is looking good for your Pandas.
Not so certain. There's a lot going down, obviously, with that wall. That wall was maybe not exactly where they wanted to be. I have no idea where my keyboard is going right now. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
Regroup. And you know what? When Shrieker was alluding, ooh, nice. Gosh, I feel like Cheese Bum has like the nicest throws. Here comes, ooh, wow, all the ults are coming out right now. JGM does get Lucian King there, but nothing really happening. Here comes another purple. But when you're saying aggressiveness, like you are like one of the most aggressive people, it's like, for Spartan! You just go in there with no F's given, thinking that your team's going to be right behind, and Sanders and Shorty pushing the envelope here, and that's what they're doing. Oh my goodness, look at the bank of ults. They just used 2 right there, and they're still pushing the payload. Do you think that was a little excessive there, Shriek? Or do you think that was necessary?
No, what they're trying to capitalize on is the amount of time that they have from that very fast first take. So moving this forward, as you can see, they're doing exactly what I would do, which is keeping the Pandas back, moving their offensive units forward, being very intelligent. And now you can see Lucian falling alone far away from his team. That's going to hurt them in this next push. However, you have 4 full ults online with a 5th possible through Pile for this next fight. So if they play intelligently, they should be able to shut down this push.
Fatty Shotty, but he gets blocked. What a wall! But there is a quad. Everybody's purple for Team Pandas. It does not look good. And Shorty gets nanoed. He needs to go in there. Sanders taking down 2. Shorty taking down another one. And Shorty and Sanders clearing the point. The nano, the usage of ults there. Even though that Paula Hensley tried his hardest from blocking everybody off, and then tries to come with a blizzard. What freaking ults by Team Nightmare, and I am so sorry, Streak. But get ready for that beer, baby. After our break, you're chugging that. Can we get some chugs in the chat? Because we did, after you see this great ult, after you see that great usage right there, just great teamwork, that's when everything was going for them. What plays? But we did bet, Streaker, when we get to full face cam here for stream, we did have a little bet, did we not? Did we not? Is there a third one for Kings Row?
No,
we're done, right?
No, they took it there. That's going to be 3 for Nightmare. Nightmare is going to take the victory there. They are going to move ahead in the losers bracket, as obviously the Pandas, unfortunately, the team that was closest to my heart, will end their day right there as they get to go get what we call an early lunch. So they're going to be heading away. I'm sorry, Pandas. I was cheering for you. I had your back the whole time.
And I kept asking if you want to jump ship. But Streaker, go ahead and tell us about our bet, Streaker. Tell us about our bet. And when they see everybody out here sees your glory, because you're going to love it anyways. You know, you love chugging beer anyways. So if we do got those Nipple Clan emotes of those cheers emotes, let's go ahead and follow them off, because Streak had a ballsy bet. A ballsy bet.
All right.
Here it is.
All right.
Streaker bet me.
All right.
Nah, he would chug a beer. Oh, chug. Get some chugs in the chat, everybody. He would chug a beer, and Pandas don't win at all. And he is chugging, ladies and gentlemen. He is chugging. He is a man of his word. What a legend he is. Boom. buddy. He's feeling it. Intoxicated Gaming itself.
You
Great
just
effort.
chugged that whole entire thing.
All right, there. You feel better now. Are you happy now?
I don't feel better because you would have been calling me a wussy and having me pour 2 shots if Pandas won it all. But you know what? You know what I love about your Panda streak? You know what I love about them? They never gave up. They never gave up.
Good
And
loss, guys.
and they
Never
kept trying different ways to win games. So guys, if we can get a round of applause for Team Pandas and for your boy Streak for keeping with them the whole time and taking a chug for them. That's what B2P is about, man.
That was absolutely and I want to tell you this. I am not disappointed in the Pandas at all. Up to this point, the Pandas have played 2 of the most exciting matches that have been played at this point. Absolutely everything was phenomenal. I wouldn't trade it for $1 million. What phenomenal work. This is absolutely incredible work by both the Pandas and Nightmare. Nightmare coming off a very difficult loss. Pandas coming off of a hard-fought, brutal, very nitty-gritty, down to 1% multiple times. Pandas showed up. They did exactly what I said they were going to do. They just couldn't put the ace in the cap. That's not a problem. They were phenomenal players, and I'm really glad about what they did. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to be cutting real quick here to the brackets as we take a look. Mr. Sailor Nips, what do we see in those brackets, brother?
So with Pandas going down, sad, but the Nightmare stays alive with Shorty. And it looks like the winner's bracket hasn't changed yet because that's the next game, ladies and gentlemen. I hope there's more than one lady up in here. But Infinity and Wrath, that's going to be our next show. I think that this is going to be a really good one, and I can't wait for it. You know, you have Team Infinity and Team Infinity Stones that showed a lot of promise, Streak. They showed a lot of promise, but so did Wrath. They looked really good as well. So this might be, the whole entire Avengers team trying to take down Thanos here, but we will see here next on the first Bronze to Plat Epic event. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you momentarily. Remember 3 things. Stay seated, stay excited, stay intoxicated. We're right back after a short break with match number 4 of your Bronze to Plat Epic number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you momentarily. Don't go nowhere.